يا راغبا في كل علم نافع.
ينمو العلم ويتقدم بتقنياته ومجالاته، ومعه نطور أدواتنا في تقديم العلم الشرعي. أكاديمية
زاد أكاديمية ينبوعها صاف ليروي غلة الظمآن، والسيرة العلياء عطرة الشدى طيب يفوح لأهل كل زمان. بشرى لنا زاد أكاديمية للعلم كالأزهار في البستان.
بسم الله والحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وآله وصحبه ومن والاه. أما بعد. The Prophet ﷺ used to avoid foul speech. So you would not hear him use obscene words or any type of profanity. How would he use such words when he's the one who said the hadith, Allah does not love rudeness or intentional rudeness. Allahu Azza wa Jalla la yuhibbul fuhsha wa tafahush. Using such obscene words is something that is not liked. So anything that is related to profanity or obscene words or even actions, this is something that Allah Azza wa Jalla does not like. And this is why when the Prophet ﷺ used to speak, he used to avoid saying things that may shock the listeners. The Prophet says in a hadith, when one of you wakes up from sleep, let him not dip his hands into the vessel until he has washed it 3 times, for he doesn't know where his hand spent the night. The Muslims did not have faucets so that running water can be used to wash their hands. They had buckets. So when people wake up from sleep and they want to wash their hands or faces, they have to dip their hands into the vessel to do so. The Prophet says, don't do that. You have to pour the water first, wash your hands 3 times, then you can do whatever you want from the water in the bucket because your hands are clean. Why? Because you don't know where your hand spent the night. Where did my hand spend the night? This was better than saying because your hands may have touched your private part, may have come in contact with your anus and the likes. So the Prophet did not use such words, ﷺ, and rather used better words so that it would not be offending anyone. Sometimes the Prophet used to use oaths. Why? He's the most truthful, honest individual who had ever walked the earth. He could never lie. He never lied in his life, ﷺ. So why would he swear? Why would he use an oath? This is to emphasize whatever he's about to say and to give it more weight and value. One of the oaths he used to frequently use, he used to say, by the one whose my soul is in his hand. Who's the one whose my soul is in his hand? It is Allah Azza wa Jalla. So the Prophet ﷺ used to frequently use this phrase to make an oath, as in the hadith of him talking about it's best for a man to go and gather some firewood and sell it rather than ask people for charity. By the one whose my soul is in his hand. By the one whose my soul is in his hand, no one who will be injured on the battlefield except that he will come on the day of judgment with the injury. The blood looking like blood, but the smell is the smell of musk. And so many hadiths that we can see that he used to frequently use this type of swearing. Now, sometimes the Prophet would use, alayhi salatu wassalam, a third person pronoun when it is something that is bad. For example, the Prophet was talking about when people are carrying a funeral, a dead body, to its grave. So the Prophet is teaching his companions that they should do this in a fast motion, not to walk slowly with it. No, rather to take it quickly. Why? Because the Prophet says, if the deceased was good, the burial, the funeral itself would say, come on, hasten and take me to where I'm going, because it knows its destination and what awaits it in the grave. Then the Prophet says, and if it is not a good soul, it would say, that is who? The funeral or the dead body or the whole thing, it would say, doom or woe to it. He didn't say, woe to me, as if he's speaking about himself. No, this is a third person pronoun because it's an evil thing. It says, woe to it, where are you taking it? Because it knows it's going to a pit of fire. May Allah Azza wa Jal protect us. Likewise, in the hadith reported in Sahih Imam Muslim, when the son of Adam goes and prostrates to Allah Azza wa Jal, then the devil, Satan, takes a side and weeps. And he says, woe to him. Where actually, Shaitan was talking about himself. The hadith should have said, woe to me. But the Prophet is not narrating things about himself, so he uses a third person pronoun. Woe to it or to him. The son of Adam was ordered and commanded to prostrate, so he complied, and he will go to Jannah. And he, that is himself, and he talks about himself, and I was commanded, this is the Prophet talking about Shaitan now. So first he says, woe to him. But now as he is quoting, he says, I was commanded to prostrate and I refused, so fire will be to me, or I will be admitted to hellfire. And in the Sahih al-Bukhari and Muslim, when the Prophet ﷺ offered Islam to Abu Talib when he was on his deathbed, and he continued and persisted that he says the Shahada, the hadith says, and the last thing Abu Talib said was, he is on the path of Abdul Muttalib. He did not say, I am on the path of Abdul Muttalib. So the Prophet ﷺ switched it to the third person pronoun. The Prophet ﷺ sometimes used high, loud voice when talking, and sometimes used it in a low type or level. It depended on the situation. So in the hadith of Al-Miqdad, when a guest and his companion came to the Prophet ﷺ, and the Prophet hosted them in his home, when he came while they were asleep, Al-Miqdad wasn't asleep, but he was pretending to be asleep. He said the Prophet made the salam ﷺ in a low voice. If a person was awake, he would have heard it. And when people were asleep, he would not be annoyed or disturbed by his voice. And this is one of the best forms of etiquette, because the Prophet ﷺ cared for his guests. And finally, the Prophet ﷺ was the most eloquent of all those who spoke. And his words were so sweet, and his performance was so quick. And whenever you heard him speak, it would captivate the hearts of anyone who was listening. And when he spoke, it was detailed, in the sense that you can understand each and every word. Even if you want to count it, you could have counted. He wouldn't spit it out so quickly that you would lose words and you would not be able to understand. And he would not pause for too long, like some people when they speak, and they would speak like that. This is boring. When people speak like this, you can't understand them. And when they speak like this, you can't even understand them. But the way the Prophet ﷺ spoke was so clear. The pauses were on time and on spot. And he would never address things that did not concern him. And he would not speak about things he did not anticipate the reward from Allah Azza wa Jal. Ma'bad, who met the Prophet ﷺ before she was, became a Muslim, she says and describes, when he kept quiet, he reflected dignity. And when he spoke, ﷺ, he would raise his head and his face would be radiant. From a distance, he was the most, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, handsome of men. And up close, he was the sweetest in character. He spoke kind words, and he paused when he spoke. He did not speak without ceasing. When he spoke, it was as if, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, when he spoke, it was as if the words were like pearls on a thread. It all fits in the same place, coming off one after another. هذا والله أعلم ونسبة العلم إليه أسلم وصلى الله وسلم وبارك على عبده ورسوله نبينا محمد.
يا راغبا في كل علم نافع.
ينمو العلم ويتقدم بتقنياته ومجالاته، ومعه نطور أدواتنا في تقديم العلم الشرعي. أكاديمية زاد
أكاديمية ينبوعها صاف ليروي غلة الظمآن، والسيرة العلياء عطرة الشدى طيب يفوح لأهل كل زمان. بشرى لنا زاد أكاديمية للعلم كالأزهار في البستان.